using the different levels of self and existence that were outlined in the end of this course. I just want to briefly mention the first couple of levels. Those I don't really feel need a ton of discussion. The first being that we are physical beings in a physical world, just like maybe a planet or an animal or a desk or a chair would have a physical body, and that the physical laws would apply. I believe that those physical laws apply to us as well. I do want to mention, however, that I do believe life is real, that where we're at right now, the reality of the world, it's all reality and not just our perception. It's not just something that we're sort of making up or perceiving. It is the real world. The second level would be the level of having life and being living beings. I do think we exist in a cycle sort of existence, that we are affected by birth and death, and then there are biological factors that affect our lives, whether it be chemical in our brains or simply just nature and those different very physical aspects of life. I think that those are really important. However, I do want to mention Freud's perspective on sort of his very sexual perspective on what the self is. I don't think that it's quite as prevalent as he believed it to be. I think we are definitely sometimes animalistic in nature, and that's part of who we are, but it's not the overarching motivator in our lives. It's not the only thing we desire is a sexual relationship. I think it's important to us and it's a value, absolutely, but I don't think it's the most important thing that we need to look at when it comes to psychological problems or our different desires. The third level would be the mind, and I do believe, even though we can't see it, even though we can't scientifically prove that it's there, I do believe we have minds and we have the ability to reason. And here I would like to mention the Darwinian theory that essentially we are sort of just animals. We're just part of the chain, just part of the evolutionary system. Well, even though we have those animalistic sort of qualities to us, I think that we are capable of higher thinking and higher reasoning, and that sets us apart. And there are some other things that also set us apart from the animal kingdom. So then I suppose it's important to mention that I do agree that we have a soul, that we have a relationship to a creator God. Not everyone would agree with that monotheistic perspective, but I believe that we do have a relationship to a higher power and that we were created, and that that's a very important aspect of how we run our lives, how we make our decisions, is that relationship between us and that creator. So I do believe we have a soul. I do believe that there is a part of us that is, I suppose, sort of supernatural, that it's something higher, something above the physical world, our biology, even higher than what is our mind, what is our ability to think, because animals, I do believe, have an ability to think and have a certain level of reasoning. It's not the same, however, as it is for a human. We have a higher level of reasoning and also, I believe, a soul. The fifth level would be the level of our relationship to God. So even though level 4 is sort of that as well, level 5 would really be that connection with God, that connection to a greater spirit, a greater something beyond ourselves. And as I've mentioned before, I absolutely agree with that. I agree that there is a God. I don't subscribe to the belief that we are part of some greater something, or maybe that Buddhist perspective that we are just part of this all-inclusive one. I don't believe in that, so I suppose my limit would be level 5. I would say that yes, there is a creator God, yes, there's something beyond ourselves, but we are individuals, we do have souls, we do have spirits, I believe, we have our own minds, and that separateness is part of who we are as humans, and that individualistic idea that we have in our society, I do believe that that's very true and very important, that we are individuals, that we have a certain set of unique characteristics as people, and those set us apart, and there is no need for us to disappear into this sort of all-inclusive oneness. I don't think that that's necessary. I think we are created as individuals, that we have our own personhood, our own choices, and our own responses to the world around us, and that that's very key to who we are and what we do. So I think that, even though it may not agree with everyone else's perspective, this is something that's really just developed over the years as my perspective on who we are as people. And this class has been very interesting, to say the least, to sort of examine what it is that I believe, what it is that I understand to be true about humanity, and it's been very eye-opening. So it'll be interesting to kind of expand my knowledge and to discuss it further with other people, how it is that they see the world. So thank you, and hopefully I will have more classes like this in the future.